request of a little friend of mine. It is a story about one of my favorite animals. It's a story about Brother Bear. Now everyone knows that Brother Bear is one of the biggest, one of the strongest, one of the greatest animals ever to live in this part of the country. But Brother Bear is missing something that most other great animals have. Does anyone know what am I talking about? What is Brother Bear missing? A tail! Oh, that is right. Oh, most other great animals also have a great tail to go along with them. The mountain lion has a long tail. Brother Buffalo and Brother Horse have long tails. Brothers Fox, Wolf, Coyote all have beautiful tails. Even Brother Beaver has his own very special tail. But Brother Bear, he just has a little nub of a tail. But this was not always so. You see, once, a very long time ago, the very first bear had a beautiful tail. Oh, it was a magnificent tail. It was one of the most beautiful tails of all of the animals. Oh, it was long and thick and shiny and curly. And Brother Bear was quite proud of his tail. In fact, Brother Bear, he thought quite highly of himself altogether. And Brother Bear, he would go about waving his tail in the other animals' faces. Oh, do I not have a beautiful tail? Oh, have you ever seen such a fine tail in your life? Oh, isn't it long and thick and shiny and curly? Oh, am I having a nice tail day? Oh, and he would go about waving his tail in the other animals' faces until finally the other animals got tired of hearing about Brother Bear's tail. Don't you get tired of listening to someone who brags about themselves all of the time? Oh. He even began to annoy his good friend, Brother Fox. Everyone knows that Brother Fox is a great trickster. And Brother Fox decided that he was going to play a trick on Bear to teach him a lesson about bragging about his tail all of the time. But Brother Fox was not sure what to do until one winter's day he was strolling along a frozen lake and he noticed, frozen into the ice on top of the lake, he saw 5 fat trout. 5 beautiful fish frozen into the ice on top of the lake. Now, a fisherman must have caught these fish earlier and left them there to save them for later. But these fish, they gave Brother Fox an idea. And so, Brother Fox, he dug the fish out of the ice and he took them to another part of the lake near a trail where he knew Brother Bear would be coming along soon. He dug a hole into the ice on the lake. He took 4 of the fish and he placed them around the hole in the ice. And then he took the 5th fish and he tied it to his tail. He turned his back on the hole in the ice and he sat down on the ice, lowering his tail with the fish tied to it down into the water, and he waited. And sure enough, before long, along came Bear strolling down the path. Oh, Bear was feeling quite fine this morning, and he saw his friend Fox sitting out there on the lake, and he said, "Good morning, friend Fox. Why, how are you this morning? Isn't my tail looking quite fine this morning?" But Fox did not answer. Instead, he just jumped up, pulled his own tail out of the water, and there was a fish hanging from his tail. Oh, Brother Bear's eyes got wide. Brother Bear loves to eat fish. It is one of his favorite things in the world to eat. Oh, and Brother Bear, he saw the 4 fish laying there on the ice. He saw the fish hanging from Fox's tail. And he said, why, Brother Fox, what are you doing? Fox said, well, I'm fishing with my tail, of course. He said, Brother Bear, you mean to tell me that with a fine tail such as yours, with a magnificent tail like yours, you mean to tell me you do not know how to catch fish with your tail? Well, Bear thought about it for a minute, and then he said, well, Brother Fox, why, you are right. Why, if you can catch fish with your tail, why, I am sure that with a magnificent tail like mine, I could catch many fish if you would teach me. Fox said, I will be glad to teach you, Brother Bear. He said, Brother Bear, it is easy. All you need to do is to come up here to the hole in the ice. He said, you sit down on the ice and lower your tail down into the water. He said, if you just twitch the end of your tail just a little bit, it will attract the fish. They will come up and grab the end of your tail. He said, you pull your tail out of the water and you will have your fish. He said, but, Brother Bear, you need to sit very, very quiet. He said, you cannot speak, you cannot sing, you cannot think a thought or it will scare the fish away. Can you do that, Brother Bear? Brother Bear said, oh yeah, I think I can do that. He was so excited. But he said, but Brother Fox, now, my tail, it is so long, so thick, so strong. Well, how will I know when there is a little fish on the end of my tail? Fox said, do not worry, Brother Bear. I will help you. He said, I will go hide in the bushes over there where I can still see the hole in the ice. The ice is still very clear. I will be able to see when a fish comes up and grab your tail. He said, when I see a fish come up and grab your tail, I will yell, now, Bear. He said, when you hear that, then you pull your tail out of the water. Now, I am going to need a little bit of help later in the story. Everyone can help. What is it that Fox is going to yell when the time is right? Oh, that was pitiful. I think you can do better than that. Let's try again. What is Fox going to yell when the time is right? Oh, they're just like that. Very good. You got the right idea. Now, you will know when the time is right. Now, and so it was agreed. Brother Bear, he was so excited. He came up to the hole in the ice and he sat down on the ice, lowering his tail down into the water. Brother Fox, he ran up and hid in the bushes and he looked back at Brother Bear sitting there on the ice with his tail down in the ice-cold water, and he laughed. Oh, this was a great joke that Fox was playing on Bear, and Bear was falling for it. Oh, Fox, he enjoyed his joke for a little while. He had a good laugh, and then he went home, leaving Bear sitting there on the ice. Fox, he went home. He cooked himself a nice hot meal of the fish that he had found on the ice, and he went to sleep for the night. The very next morning, Fox's first thought was of Bear. He thought, oh, I wonder how long that silly Bear sat out there on the ice. Maybe he's still there. Maybe I should go see. As Fox left his lodge that morning, he noticed that a fresh coating of snow had fallen during the night. When he got to the lake, he saw that the lake was covered in a beautiful blanket of snow. But then he noticed something strange. Out in the middle of the lake, there was a big mound in the snow. a mound in the snow in the middle of the lake, and so he decided to go see what it was. As he got close to the mound in the snow, he heard a strange noise. It was Bear! Bear had fallen asleep there on the ice. He had been there all night long. The snow had fallen upon him and covered him up. Oh, this was a great joke that Fox had played on Bear. And Fox, he laughed and he laughed until he himself was rolling on the ice and tears were coming from his eyes. But then he thought, well, maybe Brother Bear has had enough. Maybe he will have finally learned his lesson about bragging about his tail all of the time. Maybe it is time to let him off the hook. And so, Fox, he crept up behind Bear. Are you ready? He put his mouth behind Bear's ear and he yelled. When Bear heard that, he woke up and jumped up to pull his own tail out of the water. But when he did that, what do you think happened? During the cold night, the ice had frozen tight around Bear's tail, and when Bear jumped up to pull his tail out of the water, it snapped off! There in the ice, Bear, he reached back expecting to find his beautiful tail with a fish hanging from it, and all he found was a little nub. He looked down at the ice, and there he saw his beautiful tail, and he said, Oh, Brother Fox, oh, look at what you have done. Oh, my beautiful tail. He said, Fox, I'm going to kill you. But even though the fox was laughing, he was still able to outrun the angry bear. And that is why, to this day, foxes and bears are no longer friends. And often to this day, you can hear Brother Bear out in the woods moaning. Still moaning over the loss of his beautiful tail.